Real quick message before we begin today. I just sat here and recorded a full 40-ish minute video that you are about to watch. And you will hear me in this video talk about Universal and, hiring companies to make promotional stuff. You'll hear me talk about a lot of stuff without having seen this until the video was over. Fan archive not affiliated with Universal. So I thought that I would put this at the very beginning of my video so people wouldn't blow up the comment section. I saw this right before I sat down to edit the video. So I now know this is a fan thing and not from Universal. But in the video, I won't know that. Bear that in mind. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jurassic World. A few years ago, before Dominion, before Fallen Kingdom, they had a little website for Jurassic World, and it was supposed to kind of like mirror what a real world website would look like for Jurassic World if Jurassic World were real, if we lived in that universe. It was pretty neat. Then for Fallen Kingdom, they had the Dinosaur Protection Group website with a lot of videos showing Claire doing work with kids and trying to teach them and inform the public and making calls to politicians like she did in the film. It was a really neat website. It also showed, what happened post Fallen Kingdom with the animals now being off the islands, being on the mainlands around the world. And you could watch little video clips from here and there around, various places that would show which dinosaurs were located in which areas around the globe. Of course, all that has been kind of soft retconned with Jurassic World Rebirth. We now know that our modern world is just inhospitable. Disease and unhabitable climate for them has taken its toll. So many of them died off. Most of them now live around that thin line around the equator. Makes sense, right? Kind of feels like what would happen naturally. But for whatever reason, in 2026, Universal has pulled down every website and all of this material, the Masrani website, the Jurassic World website, and all of the social media accounts have gone silent. Something that has never happened before with Jurassic World. They have successfully posted on a regular basis across all social media accounts since 2015, if not earlier. Then today, a new website popped up. Or at least I think it was today. It may have been the other day. I don't know. All I know is I'm learning about it today. So in this video, we're going to take a look. We're going to use the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine. We're going to try to piece together the parts of those older websites that we can and look at the new website that is coming soon. So let's have some fun. All right, everyone. As you can see here, there is a new website, InGen Locker. Every Jurassic YouTuber is making videos on this. Mine just happens to be coincidental. I was already going to make this video for Jurassic June. It just so happens that this website popped up now. So you can see it says InGen Cold Storage. Let's see. Masrani Global restored. Dinosaur Protection Group restored. Distinction now restored. Dino Tracker recovered. So whoever is doing this is going back and getting those old websites. And I'm thinking what they're doing is I think the script for the next Jurassic movie is probably already complete. or they kind of semi have an idea where they're going to take the franchise after Rebirth. It's one of those deals, and I don't quote me 110% on this, but Spielberg hit up David Cope and said, you remember that movie we made in '93? You want to make another one? So he came back to do the screenplay for Rebirth. Now, I personally loved Rebirth. My only real gripe was yet another island. Come on, man. It would have been fine if it was a random island that just happened to have dinosaurs on it post Fallen Kingdom. But another secret laboratory island, that was a bit of a stretch, and everybody's been making fun of it since. I don't think David Cope really has kind of... I don't know if he went back and did thorough research, but there's no way he cared enough to go in and do hella research like a fanboy would do to know the entire canon and lore across the 30-year period of this franchise. So there's some things that are going to be, disconnected at the end of the day. Now, I haven't really clicked on any of this to see what happens. So we're going to take a look. A recovered data terminal, the surviving fragments of InGen's history, and the immersed campaigns built around it between 2014 and 2022 consolidated into a single explorable record. Some files are intact, some are corrupted. Some were never meant to be seen. The records. 14 files corrupted. That is cool. So it might be an archival site for some of the old stuff that we never got to really see. So we'll take a look at that now and see. A portal for the Masrani Global Corporation, a multinational corporate giant spanning telecom, oil, and bioengineering. Founded in 1973 by Sanjay Masrani and inherited by his son Simon. It established that Masrani bought InGen after John Hammond's death in late 1997 and detailed the history behind the building of Jurassic World on Isla Nublar. So, in past videos, I've talked about how these websites really dove super deep into the lore, like you would do if you were reading a novel series or something like that. It gave a deeper connection to you in the material that you wouldn't get through just watching the movie alone. And when all this stuff was being posted and hosted on the internet, I was in a very away from the internet time in my life. I wasn't doing YouTube. And even though when, I started YouTube in 2017, for those first 3 or 4 years of doing YouTube, I still wasn't like super connected to my franchise here. It was kind of just in the back of my heart and the back of my mind as something from my childhood that I really loved, but I wasn't reconnected to it like I am today. So I did not explore a lot of these websites. I think I gave them a cursory glance once or twice, and that was all I ever did. Let's see. Fragment 1, the most comprehensive genomic library in the world. Bioengineering heart of the corporation. Fragment 2, the Telecom Origin Company, home of the Anis 7 holographic phone. Subsidiaries: Masrani Energy, Medaxel Health, Atsuo Technology, Aerospace Dynamics, Access Boulder Engineering, Data Analysis. Let's see, Fragment 4, construction company behind Jurassic World's rebuilding on Isla Nublar. So you can kind of see that I don't think if Masrani existed, Jurassic World would have been built. Because he has the telecom companies, he has the construction companies, he's bought a failed and dying InGen that had all of the cloning technology and all of the genomic stuff, the library, as it says. So you really get the idea that if it were not for Masrani, there would have been no Jurassic World. A little loud. Masrani. Now, one of the things that I might want to do is go in later and download all of these videos and have them as assets that I could use later in my YouTube stuff. So that might be a thing I need to do. Let's see. All right, you have the home page. Yeah, okay. So it seems like what they're doing is they're bringing back all of the old marketing stuff from past websites and kind of bringing it to the forefront here. I'm not going to read every one of these little paragraphs. You can kind of pause the video and read them yourselves here. I'll read some of this stuff, but not every little thing. Let's see. Soon after the acquisition of InGen in 1998, Simon Masrani looked to work at a plan that seemed impossible given the circumstances of the years preceding. The control and reinvention of a new theme park on Isla Nublar. Experts from the Masrani company were collected together, along with Dr. Henry Wu from the InGen company, to plan for the greatest theme park and attractions ever constructed in humankind's history. Wow. Simon Masrani used subsidiaries Axis Boulder Engineering and Timac Construction to work on the preparation and planning prior to construction on the island. Construction workers were protected from native wildlife by InGen security over the course of the 3 years from 2002 until completion in 2004. Now, the events of Jurassic Park 3, I'm assuming, were 2001 when the film was released. Could have been 2000. And what's funny is, like, some people, Red Letter Media and others, and don't get me wrong, I love Red Letter Media, but so many of these film snobs, especially YouTubers, they don't like Jurassic World as a series. And I get it. Unless you're a fanboy or super into the lore, then you might not understand how we got from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, F, so on infinitum. You don't get this super into something unless you already are a huge fanboy, and it doesn't make sense to some people. They're just like Rich and Jay, or not Rich, Mike and Jay do their shows, and they're like, Jurassic World is terrible, blah, blah, blah. But they're coming at it from like a filmmaking perspective of expecting it to be as great as Jurassic World was, and you're just never going to get that. That is not... Never going to get as great as Jurassic Park. That was lightning in a bottle, and it was phenomenal. It was a cultural juggernaut, and it just, it's not going to be repeated. Although Jurassic World was extremely successful, you're not going to repeat Jurassic Park. With over $1.2 billion alone spent in concrete and building materials, this project was never underestimated. Oof. And all that infrastructure just sits rotting today. The most incredible thing about the project for me was the fact that we were able to construct so far off the mainland while maintaining all deadlines, explains Jurassic World project manager Mr. Eli Jacobs. The logistics and the planning were just incredible. Security teams, perimeter fencing, scientists, quarantine zones, it was quite the atmosphere. Simon Masrani was taking no chance. Simon adds, the sense of security proved vital in the establishment of Jurassic World. The media were having a frenzy at the time. Conservation groups around the globe were looking and waiting for an incident to tarnish our reputation, to try and take Isla Nublar away from us. We had to set a feeling of safety for when the time came for opening in 2005. We had to ensure people were willing to come. And come they did. The Jurassic World officially opened in June 2005 to an incredible 98,120 visitors in its first month of operation. Woo! As you can see on the side here, these are the banners that were on the docks welcoming people as they come off the boats. His flagship Enterprise opened in 2005 to a record-breaking number. State-of-art theme park, biological preserves, lead entertainment, Claire Deering, Senior Assets Manager at Jurassic World, discusses her thoughts. Scientists are often challenged by the risks involved in executing grand concepts, explains Claire. Many at InGen doubted the likelihood of a successful hybrid. But here we are, just 1 month away, and she's more than we imagined. We will closely monitor visitor response and gauge the consumer's appetite for future experiences, taking Jurassic World into a new era. But as we seek to I should really read more or slow down. But as we seek to recreate the past, we can't forget to innovate, Claire adds. We have several new rides in the conceptual phase with Access Boulder, our most involved treetop gazers, as an ETA sometime in 2018. I bet that was Camp Cretaceous. I'm going to click it and see what happens. Oh, no, it's just this. How have I never seen this artwork before? I want this. I am saving this. That is cool. Wow, I missed out so much, you guys, back in the day. That's a beautiful picture of the island. That is a beautiful picture of Hawaii. Protecting Nublar, let's see. An appreciation for the history. Officially discovered in 1525 by Spanish navigator Diego Fernandez. The naming of the island is often credited to cartographer Nicholas de Huelva. Sorry, I am terrible with names. You know, it's funny, everybody says that as a hand wave for don't jump me because I can't pronounce this. But it's true. Who on the Spanish Carac La Estrella, the star, describes seeing a cloud island while mapping the western coast of Costa Rica. The Spaniards learned the existence of a local indigenous tribe to the island, known as the Bribri tribe. The natives referred to the island locally as Guesi, Waterhouse, or House Beyond Water, and themselves as Tunsi, or Watermen. Oh, that's where that comes from. I follow a guy on Instagram who does a lot of videos on YouTube, and he uses that word a lot. I wonder where he got. I've always wondered what that meant and where he got that from. I bet he got it from the website. I never really thought about Isla Nublar having any deeper lore other than Jurassic Park before the Jurassic Park game came out, the Telltale game, where they kind of talked about the protagonist in there. She talked about how people had already lived on the island before, and, you know, people came in from the mainland and set up this park and really ruined the island and yada yada. He wasn't wrong. Let's see, let me double check everything's like it should be. Okay. Anytime I'm recording a desktop capture, I have to be absolutely sure I'm still, for one, on screen, even though I seem to be a tad over to this side. I'm also shaking my legs, which is causing the whole everything to shake. Sorry about that. Let's see. Respecting local wildlife, there are a wide variety of animals native to Isla Nublar. Most common is the, whatever that is, Nublar tufted deer. This 2-foot-tall mammal is mostly nocturnal, although they have been studied gazing under the darkest patches of the jungle canopy during daylight hours. Around the coasts of Nublar, hundreds of birds stop to rest on their long migrations, the largest being the Pelecanus the brown pelican, whose impressive wingspan reaches 8 feet in length on average. The Masrani company, together with InGen, have worked together to ensure the protection of these animals. A historical agreement was signed in 2005 with the Costa Rican Environmental Protection Society to ensure the safety and habitat of the indigenous wildlife on Isla Nublar. Never gonna happen. Not with raptors on the island. Sustainability for the environment. Masrani have been working together with InGen to ensure environmental stability is kept on the island to help protect the local plant life. Energy saving and waste saving methods have been installed across the island, with strict regulations to all visitors and park staff. The inclusion of over 750 blue recycling bins across the island, including a local recycling facility, is testimony to the specific requirements set in place by the Costa Rican government and by the Costa Rican Environmental Protection Society. An estimated 35% of the power on Isla Nublar is solar powered, with the other 65% being powered by geothermal energy produced from the activity of Mount Saibo in the north of the island. Jurassic World ensures that clean sources of energy are used with low emission. So already in the first it's 17 minutes that we've been here, I've already blasted through more lore than you probably even ever dreamed existed about Jurassic World and the deeper universe. So that's what I'm talking about when I always said I never really did deep dives. I've always been a fanboy. I've always deeply loved Jurassic Park, a 1,000,000,000% in my heart. But I've just always been a little too lazy and a little too scared of it sucking if I dove deeper into the wider canon. I also don't know who Universal hired to write all this, but it's brilliant. They made a believable universe, which is more than I can say for some of these other franchises this day and age that just keep spitting out sequels after sequels. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, some of these others. But the tour moves on. See investors, urgent memo. Emergency board meeting to discuss the future of the company. Richard Weisner. Head office lines have been extremely busy. It encourage investors not to panic. What happened? Oh, there's the X. Now, this is another one of those where I'm not going to get too heavy into reading all of this. You can kind of, is my webcam in the way? It is. Boop. You can take a moment and read this for yourselves, if you're so inclined. No, I dropped my fidget toy. I just had to play with this pencil. I have to fidget with something. All right, now I have visited the Masrani website before. I did a quick cursory glance of this. Like I said, I never really did a deep dive with all these various websites, but I remember looking at this stuff back in the day, blasting through this and be like, oh, okay, neat. And then never absorbing any of the information. Move my head out of the way again. There we go. CEO's blog. Let's see if it's specified down Jurassic World. Oversee our. Ooh, okay. So this is right before he went down to scope out the Indominus Rex. So I guess he had been away from the island. And then when he went down, you know what happened after the fact. And of course, you can hit blog archive, and I'm going to assume, yeah, there's a lot that you can kind of read and go over here. Kind of do a little bit of a scroll through. And you guys can kind of stop and decide what you want to look at. Here you go. I do want to watch some of these videos, though. Don't be loud.
The Masrani Global Corporation, 15 companies, $500 billion worth of assets, over 70,000 employees, a global presence in over 42 countries. We've built a multidisciplinary company based on our founder Sanjay Masrani's mission of vision, communication, innovation, and evolution. Today, Sanjay's mission continues under the stewardship of Simon Masrani and a top-tier network of professionals who've built the Masrani Global Corporation into an independent international conglomerate that brings valuable services to blue-chip clientele, military industries, and families across the world stage. Our flagship corporation, Mascom, has always been a leading global satellite network, but in the 1990s, under Mr. Masrani's leadership, the company saw its presence expand from Dubai right through to Shanghai. Seeing the potential in an ever-expanding global marketplace and in the increase in international transportation, Mr. Masrani founded Masrani Oil. With the innovative approach of establishing the company in Abu Dhabi, which sits at the center of 3 continents with market share to the rest of the world, Masrani Oil now fuels 21% of the world's transportation sector and has become the leading source of revenue for the Masrani network. Bringing the world together through communications and global resources has been a driving force of the Masrani Global Corporation's expansion. But in 1998, Mr. Masrani saw the potential in uniting the world not only through the largest constructs of human innovation, but in the smallest elements of our existence. And so Masrani Global acquired International Genetic Technologies. In just 5 years, Simon Masrani reinvented InGen into a stable and viable entity that successfully opened up limitless possibilities for the basic building blocks of life. Today, the work and research being done through InGen could forever change the way we heal, the way we fight, the way we work, the way we play, and the way we evolve. So what does the future hold? The future holds hope. The future holds opportunity. The future holds any and every possibility. And you can be sure that the Masrani Global Corporation will be at the center of it, forever bringing the world closer together and building on future horizons through its distinguished legacy of unparalleled vision.
A pretty big fluff piece video. Long, too. That's okay.
With over 2 decades at the helm of the Masrani Global Corporation and following in his father's footsteps, Simon Masrani has made it his lifelong goal to create a truly global corporation. Leading the company into groundbreaking terrain, Mr. Masrani has expanded Mascorp's portfolio in both the commercial and industrial sectors by offering services such as telecommunications, oil production, biological engineering, and construction across every major region of the globe. His underlying philosophy is to push boundaries so that we can create a stronger global community through shared experiences, shared resources, and shared solutions. Mr. Masrani has always relied on the human need to push our own potential. In his words, the greatest thing we must learn in life is that nothing is impossible. We fear the unknown on a daily basis, but it is that unknown which drives us. Our species, whatever entities we may be, have been given the gift of asking why. We cannot forget that. Beyond corporate development, Mr. Masrani is a noted philanthropist and has always strived to engage with the global community that has been touched by his work. At the intersection of innovation and vision is where legacies become legendary. This is where Simon Masrani thrives. And that is the soul of the Masrani Global Corporation.
It's pretty cool. So there's a line of dialogue in Jurassic World where I think his name is Hodgkins, something like that. He says Masrani is so diversified, he doesn't even understand or doesn't know half of what he owns, doesn't even know what he owns, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, it's funny because it's all fine, well, and good for fans of the franchise like me. You know, we think about people like John Hammond, where in the novel, John Hammond was a monster, a real jerk. In the movies, he was more affable, more lovable, more like an old grandpa that you love and care about, who gave us all dinosaurs. Two completely different people in two completely different universes. But with this expanded lore here, you have to think about the real world implications of people that we have today, the tech giants of today. Won't name them all because I hate them, but I will say at least, people like Jeff Bezos, who is worth more money than all of humanity put together could possibly ever spend. You know what I mean? It's I'm not a huge fan of like late stage capitalism, not to get too political. I'm also not a huge fan of like the corporate greed, the billionaire thing. Like I personally feel that it's unethical for any one human to ever be a millionaire, a billionaire. Just like the hoarding of wealth to me seems to be incredibly tasteless, especially given how many people suffer and go without in the world. I've always maintained that starvation and people not having access to like clean water or medicine, that's an artificial scarcity created by man, and it's pure evil at the end of the day. But in this universe, you have people like Masrani who these videos make him look like he's just the golden god that's been gifted to us by the heavens. But we don't really get to see behind all of this, to see what he was actually like. Um, these billionaires always put on smiling faces for the camera, but we don't really, at the end of the day, we kind of can get the gist of just how awful they are based on social media and what comes out in the news and things like that. But I don't know. I would I be willing to put up with a Jeff Bezos just to have Jurassic World? Probably not. I think it would probably be one of those things that's better left unexisting. That's my rant with that.
At Masrani Global, it isn't enough to just provide the world with cutting-edge technology and valuable resources. We have an obligation to protect our clientele and our communities. That is why InGen, known for its breakthroughs in genetic research and engineering, has also become the global leader for cutting-edge security systems, training, and protocol. Under the leadership of Vic Hoskins, InGen's private security division is currently developing advanced security measures that will deliver new solutions for the most severe international conflicts, as well as ensure the safety of the visitors to Masrani Global's revolutionary theme park and resort, Jurassic World. In the words of Mr. Hoskins, Jurassic World is a global destination, and that comes with a certain set of risks. Our job here on Nublar is to work with asset containment and park staff to ensure a safe environment for the millions of people who visit every year. Safety without condition. Vision without limitation. Innovation beyond compare. The Masrani Global Corporation is dedicated to creating a closer global community by ensuring a safer global community.
I guess I never really thought about that. Who would want to sabotage Jurassic World other than like rival companies, I suppose?
Programmable life is not the way of the future. It's what we do here every day. Nature's been cloning organisms for hundreds of millions of years. Compare the ancient abacus to today's supercomputers. That's how far InGen has progressed in the field of genetics.
Tomorrow's InGen is actually right now.
When Masrani Global acquired our technology, it was a time when hardly anyone carried cell phones.
The internet made a screeching sound when it connected.
Pictures could take a minute or more to download.
That was a completely different time, and we're a completely different company today.
Scientific and technological advancement is accelerating at an exponential rate. We reinvent ourselves every cycle. That's what being tomorrow today is.
Every facet of our process is revolutionary. With the Hammond XB20, we can decode the genome of any extinct creature in under an hour.
No optics, no read length limitations, high throughputs, hundreds of trillions of calculations per second. The number of base pairs we can sequence in 1 hour is in the billions.
How do we do it? Wouldn't our rival companies like to know?
InGen is infinite possibility.
The days of filling in the gaps of a dinosaur's genome with frog DNA are over.
With the recent discovery that soft tissue preserved by iron chelators can produce gold mines of DNA, we can put the puzzle pieces together much faster than ever before.
Combine that with all of the extractions that we have on our amber mines in Wyoming and Latvia, we're looking at a significantly large library of DNA samples.
We're approaching 100% genome accuracy in dozens of species. And this is just step one in what we do.
This is what's really exciting. Genetic engineering, designer life. It has innumerable applications across multiple platforms.
It's not just knowing the sequence, it's knowing what each gene does.
Isolating it, turning it on or off, deletion, insertion.
Life is just a code. We're taking the code and we're using it for practical applications. InGen isn't just about de-extinction. It's about deepening our connection with the natural world.
You will see InGen's impact in medicine, agriculture, and defense. There are no limits to what we can learn from these animals.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? That question has been answered. Chickens evolved from egg-laying Maniraptor and theropods. There's no doubt the egg came first. It's time to move on to other questions. What comes next?
I've seen this video before, and I always thought it was great. More videos coming soon. Okay. So I wonder if this stuff is being re-uploaded to the official Jurassic World website, or if these videos are like unlisted and you can only see them through these websites. That would be my assumption there. Careers. Oh, due to the unforeseen circumstances at Jurassic World, resulting in the worst financial crisis the company has ever seen, the Masrani Global Corporation will be holding an emergency board meeting to discuss the future of the company and its various subsidiaries. Our head office phone lines have been extremely busy. We encourage our Jurassic World employees not to panic, but to have trust in the company board, and financial investors all over the world who will ensure that the decisions are made in the best interest of the company and its employees. You could have just stopped after interest of the company. No company gives a crap about their employees. You care about your bottom line. Well, you care about your investors too, because without them, you got nothing. The employees are the last thought in this chain of existence. Let's just be so for real. Human Resources Manager Jennifer Olivia. My camera off. We can get a kind of full view of this page here. Internships. See, these websites made it look. It was more than just for me. People like me enjoyed this so much more and so much deeper. It went so much deeper for us than just like, hey, this is marketing stuff from Universal. No, this was like the deepest lore building I had ever seen. Ever. Oh, Lord, I am. What happens if I put in please? You didn't say the magic word. I don't know. I don't know what the password is. I'm assuming that there was some sort of promotion that gave the password out back in the day. But, no, don't replay that. That was loud when we played it earlier. But that is the Masrani. Oh, they copyrighted it 2026. Look at that. But that is the Masrani site. It's back up as of today. Like I said, it had been up originally as a promotion for Jurassic World. It was taken down. It is now back up. So enjoy that. Now that was just one link here. Let's see. Reading M, like I'm looking everywhere. Clearance as a visitor. InGen locker. Now, one of the things I would like to do, I guess I should make separate videos for each one of these. Today we tackled the Masrani archive. The next, I guess, we need to do is the dinosaur protection group. The extinction now thing, it looks like it also says archived. And the dino tracker status unknown. Okay. See, there might be some copyright issues, or just flat out Universal might have lost some of the files. I don't know which company they used to build all this material originally. The company may not have a contract with them anymore, may not have the material anymore. It may just be lost media. And then it may be designed just to look like this, you know, like, ooh, it's a hacker doing whatever. But this is a neat concept, you know, the InGen locker thing. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll make several videos out of this, and we'll continue to check this website. 14 files corrupted. See, I'm very interested to know what that is all about. Because here's the thing. If this is an InGen terminal for real, it has to have Isle St. Hubert information locked away in here somewhere. Something about Distortus, something about the mutated animals. I'm very excited to see where this is going. High-pitched boys. All right. I think that's where we'll wrap this video up for today. And then I guess I'll come back and look at this every single day. I'm going to continue to make videos on this every single day until we've seen everything there is to see. Here's a full face cam out of the way. If anybody wants to really take a screenshot of this or anything, I'll put a link to it in the video description. Kind of a longer video than what we're used to. You know, my Jurassic Park videos are usually way shorter than this, but this was a deep dive from Chozo lore. Diving into the lore behind the Jurassic World stuff. All right. See you, folks.